This is the world's first tablet designed specifically for PC gaming. What does that mean? It means we've integrated the latest generation Intel Core i7 in here. We've got a high-end discrete GPU capable of running all the latest titles. Shotguns out. There we go. And then it's a Windows PC, right? So there's no, no tricks or anything. I mean, I'm actually just running Windows. Yeah, let me make sure my network is up there. So I've got Windows running, and then this is our shell software that runs on top of it that gives you access to, the kind of features you would expect, like browser, music, video, etc., while using a combination of gamepad and touchscreen input. So it's a touchscreen, right? It's a tablet. If you wanted to play like Angry Birds or something like that, you definitely could. But the focus for this is to try to understand: does this form factor make sense for hardcore PC gaming? Right? We've got a lot of different titles here from a variety of different genres that we're entering into this beta program to have folks test through different genres and understand. The control sticks give you the kind of controls that you would want to be able to play a lot of these high-end PC titles. So you think about like typical console gamepad mappings. As long as the games understand those gamepad inputs, then these will just work. This symmetric design is just part of the prototype, the concept. But we're getting feedback from the community to understand: does it make sense to have like dual analog or D-pads, and or is it A, B, X, Y? What's the real configuration here? But these controllers actually were born out of our Hydra efforts, because we've got some we've got software that already exists that allows us to map these buttons into games. So if you've got a game title that doesn't understand like gamepad input, and you want to be able to do like keyboard and mouse mappings, you could do like WASD on the left stick and mouse on the right, and maybe the triggers for left mouse click, right mouse click, etc. But then we got some software layers that exist between the hardware and the game to be able to remap all of these inputs. So you can have the buttons be assignable, have macros and so forth that are bindable there. And I'll just jump in and throw in a lot of different titles at this, and I haven't found anything yet that doesn't run really well. Mostly because we're essentially cramming, like a high-end gaming notebook into this 10-inch form factor, and it's 10.1, 1280 by 800, full touchscreen. So this is a typical console configuration for this. I've got movement bound to the left stick and the look on the right. I've got buttons assigned to the various melee abilities and so forth. So as you can see, I'm running this at high detail and high resolution, the native resolution of the panel, and I'm still able to get really good frame rates out of this. Want a bite? Sure. I don't know how long we've been charging this one. That'll help with the brightness.
How long does battery last?
We're targeting around 2 hours with, playing some kind of hardcore titles, really stressing the box. But again, it's a prototype, so as we get feedback from the community to try to understand, what are the features in the games that they really want to see playable on here, we may make adjustments in terms of the weight. Maybe we add more cells, maybe we remove some. It depends on the kind of game titles that they want to see on it.
Obviously, you can't expect much out of the full-blown i7.
Right. Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, we really think the Intel Core i7 architecture is the right way to go for this particular form factor. But we need to weigh the wattage of the CPU and GPU and the other components in the system to come up with the right recipe for playability and the right frame rates and levels of detail, while still maintaining that battery life.
Which processor do you keep
It's an Intel Core i7 in there right now. It's the latest generation.
Which model?
We're not disclosing the model for the prototype, but it's the latest generation Core i7. And then obviously this is not production unit where we've got ways to go to design the production version of this. So you'll see some changes here, but we're basically going to follow the CPU and GPU manufacturers to make sure that we've got the latest technology in there when it launches.
Yeah, so when Ivy Bridge comes out, it'll be 22 nanometer and it'll be quite a bit less power. So
right. So as we get improvements on the processor side, then we've got to balance that with you know, do we need more cores, or do we want to go for, you know, a lower wattage CPU? A lot of different dials that we can turn there to ensure that we get the right level of performance and battery life.
What kind of changes in the form factor do you see with the final production model?
Tough call. I mean, I think we'd really like to thin it out a little bit more and maybe lighten it a bit.
Okay.
But you know, the feedback we've gotten so far is that it seems light enough, given that you're holding it with two hands. So then it's just a question of like, we got a lot of feedback. People want to detach the controllers,
and that's what I was wondering.
while it's like. So for the show, we didn't want to have the controllers be detachable because we got people playing with them and so forth. So we wanted to maintain that structural rigidity of having the controllers attached. Sorry, I've got some Steam connectivity issues on that one, so it's not showing any games off, just the shell. But yeah, so that was some of the feedback we've been seeing since we unveiled this on Tuesday. So I think we're going to go and you know, revisit the mechanical design and see if there's a way that we could have a way to be able to attach and detach the controllers, so you could get back to you know, a sort of more typical like tablet configuration. But at the same time, we don't want to get too far away from this particular design. You know, we call it a tablet, but it really defies categorization, right? It's not a tablet in the, you know, the typical sense where it's like as thin as you can possibly get, as light as you can get, you know, those sort of things. It's not running ARM architecture or anything like that. It's really a hybrid design, and we haven't seen anybody put out anything like this in terms of this amount of performance in this size device. So so we're gonna weigh all the different options and then figure out what makes sense. Rudder controls, right? So I can yaw left and right, and you know, up and down and so forth. Oh, that was guns. And then weapon control. Oh, there's my accelerator. So I'm still playing around with the controller configuration for this to find something that I you know, that I like. But you know, we'll keep working on this in the lab until we've got you know, something that's really playable. But it is bindable. I mean, if you wanted to just, you know, have somebody map the controls in however they want, I mean, you could just go into the game menu and remap it. Right.
Now, does it have a mechanical hard drive or solid state, or can you not?
SSD. Oh yeah. This is SSD all the way. I mean, not just for the load times, but for a mobile PC gaming experience like this, you really want to have
battery life.
Yeah. Right.
Having
Absolutely.
a spinning drive and everything.
Yeah, you don't want to have. I mean, there's, you know, reliability issues all over the place there. So.
And at the core, is this just running Windows 7?
The prototypes are running Windows 7, but we're targeting Windows 8 with this.
Okay.
So we really want to get to. I lost him. Anyway, let me jump back over here. I'll show you the Windows. So you can see, lost it. I mean, it's running Windows, right? So it's just our shell that runs on top of it, and the purpose of that was to be able to, you know, navigate the menus, so that you can access, you know, different features and functionality, a little more optimized for touch, and then the gamepad configuration.
Okay.